arrested at 65. She since has been arrested 8 times. And Betty is here because she went to court yesterday with everybody and witnessed what happened in court about the injunction. And she has some advice to share. So if you're interested in perhaps what's happening with the injunction, what are your options? All of us have options here, being the Jane Does and the John Does listed in the injunction. And it's good to get some legal counsel from people who have been through this kind of situation before. So I hope that those of you who are interested about injunctions or arrests or what kind of role you can play in the occupation around the injunction, please lend your ear to Betty Krawczyk right now, who has something to share before we go into the GA. So help me give a warm welcome to Betty Krawczyk.
Thank you very much. I talked about this earlier in the afternoon, but because it's really important, because as Renee said, we're all John Does and Jane Does here, and in a sense we're already listed on the arrest list should the injunction come down. There are 2 things to consider about being arrested under injunction. Actually, there's 3. Number 1, there are a couple of lawyers who are acting for most of the people here. And that's good. They're good lawyers. Nevertheless, I believe that this is a situation where the judge needs to hear your voice, your particular special voice, and why you're here and why you're doing this. This needs to be in the court record. But if you have a lawyer, everything will go through the lawyer, and the lawyer will speak for you, so that you will never actually speak directly to the judge. So in this sense, I think if you represent yourself, you have the advantage of speaking directly to the judge and of getting what you have to say into the court record as you said it. The second advantage to representing yourself is that you get to cross-examine other witnesses that the city may bring. If one of their witnesses is saying something that you know is patently untrue, you can object to you can voice your objections to the judge. She may say, well, you can speak later. That's okay. She said you can speak later on that subject. You can also cross-examine, if you want to, and argue with the city's lawyers. Because you're there as a self-represented person, you have a right to speak to yourself, you have a right to gather information in the courtroom. The third advantage is because you are on record personally as objecting to the injunction, and your voice is recorded in the court record. If, as it turns out, you may want to appeal this decision by the court. So then you have your record, what you said in opposition to it is already in the court, and it's in the, what they call the authority book. You can read what you said to the court as you said it, because it's in the book. So there are advantages to representing yourself. I believe that the court that's being, and I especially want to encourage First Nations to represent themselves, because so often their particular concerns get buried into the court, so that they are not paid as much attention to by the court as they should be. And I don't know if any of you know the story of Harriet Nahini, who died in prison. She was an elder over the Eagle Ridge Bluffs. She was arrested with me. She caught pneumonia in prison and died shortly after. Is that the courts don't like to see First Nations people in court because they know it looks bad if they don't give them a voice, and yet they don't want to give them a voice in situations like this where they can represent themselves and speak directly to the judge and have what they say in the record. I think is very, very important. But if anybody would like to consider representing themselves, it's not that hard. It's just a matter of the court is there for you. These are your courts. We as society pay for these courts. They're supposed to be people's courts, and instead they have turned into corporations' courts, and they need to be yanked out of the hijacking that the corporations have done to the court system. So if anybody wants to think about representing themselves, if they're arrested, I can help in giving a few pointers. If anybody wants to talk to me, I'd be pleased to. Okay? Thank you, people.
Wow.